craving sugar, eat fat. And if you're still craving sugar, you're not eating enough fat. Guaranteed. Guaranteed. My patients are horrified when on our Facebook page I cut like 1/8 of a block of butter and whack it onto my food. Okay, thyroid supportive foods. Okay, does anyone know what nutrients you need to support your thyroid? Any ideas?
Iodine?
Yes. Anything else?
Selenium?
Yes. Does anyone remember what I said earlier about iodine and selenium? We don't have it. We don't have it. What are the symptoms of low thyroid function?
Weight gain.
Weight gain.
Dry skin.
Who wants weight gain, by the way? Weight gain, what was that?
Dry
skin.
Sluggishness.
Sluggishness. How does that look, by the way, sluggishness?
Sallow skin.
Yep.
Just tired eyes.
Yep.
Poor digestion. Constipation.
Constipation. Organ of elimination. What happens when your organs of elimination don't work? Your skin takes on the load. If you're not pooing 2 to 3 times a day, your skin is taking on the load. Yeah? Does that sink in? 2 to 3 times a day. Most of my clients say, oh yes, I go every day or every second day, which I think is probably typical. As far as I'm concerned, if that's you, you're constipated. And by the time I'm done with you, you will not be going that infrequent anymore. You'll be going 2 to 3 times a day. And that's not just because I want your body to work well. You guys care about how you look, right? And you want your clients to have great skin. So you've got to get rid of the toxic crap to take the load off your skin. Okay, so the reason why I'm talking about thyroid supportive nutrients is because our soils don't have the nutrients that you need for thyroid support. There is an epidemic in Australia of hypo or slow thyroid. Yeah, now these patients are not necessarily going to have a low thyroid test result from their doctor. They've probably been to the doctor a million times and the doctor has said, oh no, your thyroid is fine. It's not necessarily going to be picked up on a test result, and the doctor's often not going to be doing the tests that we would normally do to ascertain if the thyroid is a problem. That's a political issue. It's because Medicare has no money, basically. The government hasn't got any money, so they're restricting the tests. But that aside, there are some clients of ours who may not come up on a test result as having low thyroid, but I know they're not getting iodine. I know they're not. It's not in the soil. It's not in the food that they're eating. How could they possibly have a functioning thyroid? I know they're not getting selenium. That's unless they're supplementing, of course. And unfortunately, in Australia, that is something we have to do. I do it, Steph does it. We do it ongoing because we know it's a problem. Simone does it. Yeah. So this is why we really need to focus on the foods that are more likely to have these nutrients present. And I'll give you a key. Iodine, actually, the only place that we're really going to get it from is from the sea. So that means anything coming from the sea is going to have more iodine present. So seafood is a winner. If you don't remember anything else about thyroid, but remember that seafood is like the ultimate thyroid supportive food, remember that one, because it's actually got all the thyroid supportive nutrients in it. So seafood. Seaweed. Has anyone tried seaweed before? Yeah, it's so good, isn't it? Another thing that you can do when you're salting your food, so when you're cooking, you can buy some seaweed and chop it up really finely and just chuck it into your cooking as if it's salt. It'll make your food taste nice and salty, but it'll add the iodine in there as well. This is one of the reasons why the government iodized our salt. You know, iodized salt before Himalayan salt and all that kind of stuff. That's why. That's why we have iodized salt. But iodized salt is a chemical waste product, so don't eat it, please. Go for sea salt. So you get whole salts, you get all the other stuff in there, other good salts in there as well as iodine.
Hey, if your client's seafood allergic, apart from supplements,
Yep.
is there anywhere else she can grab from?
Look, it's quite difficult in Australia to get iodine, honestly.
So
Supplement, unfortunately. Zinc. And one of the best sources of zinc is oysters. Yes. I know some of you probably hate them, but I love them. I think they're amazing. And seafood generally, fish or crustaceans, amazing for zinc. Beef, chicken, meat in general is going to be a good source of zinc. Also spinach, nuts and seeds will have good sources of zinc as well. Selenium, Brazil nuts. Now the key is with Brazil nuts, they can't be grown in Australia. They've got to be grown elsewhere.
So what countries are best?
I would be looking for anything, if you can, organic. Anything that you can. Interestingly, Brazil is probably one of the best. Yep. Tyrosine. I haven't talked about tyrosine yet, but it's an amino acid and it forms part of the thyroid molecule. So you need to have tyrosine. Now if you've got leaky gut, remember I was talking about leaky gut before, and you've got low stomach acid, you're going to have a hard time breaking down meat. Remember, I don't eat meat anymore because I can't break it down. So you're not going to get amino acids that you need for healing, repair, skin health, amongst other things. So tyrosine is going to drop as well. One of the best forms of tyrosine is fish, but also white meat like turkey is really good. So this is crucial, guys. You all need to be doing this for your own health. And then once you implement this and get it going, start talking to your clients about it, because this is the basic stuff, okay, that everyone with any skin condition should be doing. EFAs. Now, I think you guys are pretty up to speed with EFAs, and of course, your fatty fish is one of the best forms, but also avocados. And also meat with the fat on. Chicken skin on. It's the best. I love it. Vitamin C, antioxidant. So there's a few things we know in the Dermavigils range. There's multiple products there that are antioxidant. Some example is kiwi. You can eat kiwi. Citrus, of course. Berries, including cranberry. Bone broth. Who's heard about the benefits of bone broth? Yep, someone knows all about it. So remember earlier I was talking about the nomadic man, and he went out and he hunted an animal. He's got no fridge. So he's going to eat everything, all of the bits, and he's going to share it with as many people as necessary, because what doesn't get eaten is just going to be wasted, and that's going to be a sad day, because they're probably not going to get meat for a little while. Now when the nomadic man started making tools and things, probably he would take what cannot be physically eaten from an animal, like hoofs, for example, bones. Some of those joints can be quite hard, like the gristle's quite hard, you can't actually chew on it. Throw it into a pot and leave it for a few hours. And I would imagine the nomadic man would probably leave it there for a while, because why? They don't have mortgages to pay. They didn't have to go to work. They would sit around in community with their friends and their family, and they would talk and they would laugh and they would listen to each other and they would, engage. Which is kind of like what you guys are doing with your clients, right? You're providing a safe environment to talk and engage and provide a safe place. In that safe place would be a great opportunity to talk to them about bone broth. And that's because bone broth is probably one of the biggest powerhouses of nutrition that you can possibly get. Gags are part of the gristly part, the tendons, that are crucial for the integrity of skin composition. So I'll give you a great example of where gags are useful in cellulite in particular. So the structure, in cellulite in particular, there's sort of these little pockets of sheath. It's a sheath in our skin and around our tissues, and it's that sheath that the gags are used in. And so if you're drinking or if you've got cellulite, cellulite isn't really as a result of fat or being overweight, that just makes it look worse. It's actually a result of those sheaths being stretched, okay, because of the integrity is lost. So the stronger that you can make that sheath in your body and around your skin, that will definitely improve the look of cellulite. Glucosamine, I think most of you know that it's often associated with joints, healthy joints. It is also associated with healthy gut. So glucosamine is also an amino acid and it's needed to improve the integrity of your gut. Okay, minerals and fat-soluble vitamins. Does anyone know which vitamins are the fat-soluble ones? Vitamin A, and E, and D, and K. And the reason why they're called fat-soluble is because they are solute in fats, which means that if you don't eat fat, you can't get them. Another good reason to be eating fatty foods, like chicken skin, for example, or butter. Okay, in terms of supplements, we've just talked about the fats, EFAs, you know all about, A, D, E, and K. Multi-mineral. Oh, now with the supplements, if the client isn't really embracing this full fat, whole fat, good diet, they'll probably find that their skin will remain a bit dry. And so internally they need to supplement. You don't have to supplement though if you eat a really high fat diet. Multi-mineral, especially zinc. Why? Because we need to support the thyroid. We don't want dry skin. Iodine and selenium. All important for thyroid function, but also important for detoxification.
If someone was to go and self-prescribe zinc, just get zinc supplements from the chemist.
Yep.
And they're like, okay, I'll have 2 a day, whatever. Could they have too much and could they get the zinc toxicity and build up in their system? Or would that be bad?
Okay. Really, really, really difficult to do, particularly here in Australia because of the issue that we have with zinc and the fact that we're a grain-based diet. It's possible, but you've got to eat extraordinarily high amounts of zinc for a long period of time. I personally consumed mammoth amounts of zinc for years before I had a toxic episode.